guys, thanks for tuning in back to this video. So it's that time of the year in Qatar when we get to enjoy the outdoors, and as you can see, I'm out in the nature. I'm in the park. Actually, it's lunch hour and I decided to come here and do a quick video. Behind me right there is one of the Qatar Airways towers. I'm just in the middle of town actually. So anyway, one of the viewers requested me to make a video about what to expect when you come to Qatar as a newbie. So that is what this video is gonna be about. So stay tuned. So I'm going to be using my own example actually of what I went through during my first 3 months coming to Qatar. And your experience might be different based on the company that you're coming to work with, or maybe if you're going to work in somebody's house. So, but anyway, you can relate. A few things remain standard for any newcomer because most of the people coming here are coming as laborers. So yeah, let's get right into it. So, of course, congratulations if you have a job offer for Qatar out there. Yay! Yeah, you must have passed the interview. You must have gone through the medical process or medical checkup process successfully, and now you are about to hit the road. Welcome. So of course, the first thing, you will be excited. If you're anything like me, you're coming to a new country for the first time traveling international, you must be very excited and maybe very anxious also, or you don't know what to expect. But if you've not watched my previous videos, maybe if this is your first time here, I'll link my playlist over here. You can go watch other videos that will just help you relax a little bit, because yeah, we've been here, we've done that. I'm almost going to 2 years in this country and I'm still surviving. Yes, there have been challenges, there have been ups and downs, but still going strong, so you can make it. So I will start right from day one, leaving the house. Of course, our flight from Kenya to Qatar was at around 10:40 if I'm not wrong. So anyway, the agency, which was Elmwell agency, we were 10 of us, requested us to be at their office by 6 a.m. We were to report there with our parents, of course, or at least escorted by a member of the family, because they had to sign a consent form that they are allowing you to come and work in another country, and it was like an agreement, stuff like that. And yeah, of course, we had to agree that we are going to stay away from alcohol, we are going to be responsible, so all that stuff. It depends with whichever company we are coming with or whichever agency, so that doesn't have to be the same. But if you're coming with Elmwell, then that is standard. And then yes, they provided a vehicle for us and our parents, who escorted us all the way to the airport. Of course, when we got in, we had to say goodbye and then we went in. The flight was good, of course. For those who drink, there was free booze. We got here. Now, this is the most important part. Once we got here, of course, from the agency, they had given us some numbers printed out like on a placard for the people that were supposed to collect us from the airport. So that is very important. When you are leaving your country, at least you should have the contact of the person that is supposed to pick you up from the airport, so that in case there is a delay, then at least you can call the number, because you might be very overwhelmed, very anxious, and you're like, okay, I'm here, what next, where am I supposed to go to? So that is very important. We were given those numbers. And when we got here, of course, you expect to find like somebody waiting for you with a placard of this group, I'm here. But there was the person that was supposed to pick us from the airport was not there yet. But we were a group of us, so we relaxed. But because we had those two numbers, we went to the information desk and we asked them to call the numbers for us, just to confirm how far the driver is and to let them know that we had arrived. So the call was free, of course. They made the call for us, and of course the guy picked up and informed us that he was on the way. We had to wait for around 2 hours, just hanging around and looking at people and stuff like that. But eventually the guy arrived, which was good. So of course, one thing you should expect is that somebody should be there for you, at least a representative from your employer should be there waiting for you to collect you from the airport. And then the next thing we did before we left the airport, of course, we were asked to surrender our passports. And that should not freak you out, because this whole process was there for immigration, because once you arrive in the country, you have to get your residency permit within 3 months, because you will be given a work visa from your country, yes, but that work visa you cannot like stay on it for more than 3 months. Once you come here, your residency permit for Qatar has to be processed within 3 months. If at 3 months, before you finish 3 months, still you don't have your residency permit because of maybe problems with the immigration, you have to exit the country, you have to leave. So yes, they collected our passport, and one thing we had to provide was our blood group. So just make sure before you're coming into the country, you know your blood group. It's very important, because imagine if you give the wrong blood group, which is going to be fed into your health card whenever you go into the hospital. If in case you need a blood transfusion, they are going to use that from the record, and if you get transfused with the wrong blood, you know what will happen. So make sure you know your blood group. Expect that you'll be asked for your blood group, so know it. So we gave out the passports, and then there was a vehicle, a bus waiting for us, because of course, as I told you, we were traveling as a group of 10. So we were taken to the accommodation, of course, the girls separately and the boys went to a separate accommodation, because of course we don't mix. And then the other thing, the following day, so on that day, of course, when I arrived, thankfully I had some really nice housemates. I remember one Indian lady, because I didn't have a roommate at the time. Was supposed to stay 2 of us, but I was the first one in the room, or rather the other one was supposed to shift and come stay with me, but she was still not yet ready to shift. So I was in the room by myself. You don't even know what to buy what. By then we didn't even have a canteen or a shop at our accommodation. So, and we arrived around 6 maybe in the evening. Yes, so I was taken to my room. Of course, some nice ladies were waiting for us to escort us to the room. We were all escorted to our rooms. In the evening, one nice Indian lady came and knocked on my door and said, "Hey, I don't know if you have any food, but I'd like to offer you something." She gave me some bread and some Indian sweets and milk, which was really nice. And I used that, at least I kept that in the fridge, and I used that the following day for breakfast and lunch. But depending on your company, for us we were given dinner, chicken biryani. It was a lot. So I saved some bit of it for the following day during lunch. So that was day 1. And she was kind enough also to just give me the Wi-Fi password, so I was able to contact my family and let them know that I arrived safely. But I'm thinking also at the airport, you can get free Wi-Fi from Hamad International Airport. I didn't try that, but as I've been going home for the consecutive periods, I've gotten to use free Wi-Fi. So you can use free Wi-Fi. You can log in free Wi-Fi. I think you'll need to use your ticket number or something like that. So yeah, I was able to communicate with my family on that first day. Second day, there was accommodation induction, just to familiarize, to get familiar with the accommodation rules, what is expected of you, emergency numbers, stuff like that. That depends with your company, of course. And then, so that day, it wasn't a working day. We arrived on Friday, and then Saturday it was just the induction, which took maybe 1 hour or 2. Then I went back to my room and just still conceptualizing the whole thing, that okay, I'm in another country, I've come here to work and stuff like that. It was still very exciting, and I didn't feel homesick at the time. I was like, oh, I must be really strong. Why do people complain about feeling homesick? Remember, I had left a really little girl, 4 years old, but I was okay, feeling really strong, and I was like, then I must be made of steel. I don't feel anything. I don't feel like, okay, I'm miserable without her or anything. I was very strong, very determined to just make a life out here. And then the following day, of course, for us, we went for company induction now, just to be absorbed into the company, of course, company rules and regulations, a little bit of training about the job, but of course the most of the training took part now the job itself. Then that was Saturday. Then officially on Sunday started working. That same week you should expect to go for, as I told you, within 3 months you're supposed to get your residency permit. And for you to get your residency permit, even if you went through medical examination in your country, you still have to go through medical examination here in Qatar. And once you pass the medical examination, they will do a blood test, and also they do some chest x-rays. And you just need to know that it is possible to fail. You might pass the medical examination in your country and come here and fail the medical examination. And if you fail the medical examination and you're declared unfit to work by the Supreme Medical Court or something, then you cannot stay in the countries. Unfortunately, you have to go back, and it's so sad, and it happens to a few people. I remember when I came, we were, I think, 5 girls from Kenya and 2 from another country, and for our group, all of us passed the medical. And I remember one lady telling us that, wow, you are really lucky, because we've been getting new people every other week, but every time at least you get 1 or 2 people failing the medical and having to either go back home or having to be on medication and stuff like that. So that is unfortunately something that might happen to you. You might not be able to predict it. Maybe if you ever suffered from tuberculosis, or if you ever had chest injury, or if just there is a problem with your blood, you are prone to tuberculosis, stuff like that. It might happen. You might fail the medical and you'll have to go home. It doesn't happen to so many people, but there are chances that it could happen. So don't be surprised if this happens to you, and I hope it doesn't happen to any of you. But yeah, so once you pass the medical, then you have to go for fingerprint something. Then once you pass the medical and the fingerprint, within a few days you will get your residency permit. Then now you are free to continue working in the country. And now the only thing that might make you go back home is maybe now if you break the rules, if you get into any kind of disciplinary actions, then you'll go back home. Otherwise, then you get integrated into the country. And of course, you will still be excited, and the homesick usually doesn't kick in immediately, but trust me, it does eventually, and it hits really hard. It hits really hard, you can't imagine. So the other thing is, for us, we were given like an allowance, and I'm not going to reveal the name of the company, that is private, okay? But we were given like an allowance, a startup allowance, because of course you're coming in, starting a new job, and you don't have money necessarily. Maybe even if you brought some money from your country, it may not be enough, because as you know, the cost of living in this country, you cannot compare it to your country. So the money that was given, I was like, oh, this is a lot of money. I won't even be able to spend all of it. But trust me, by the end of the month, I was so broke. By 1 week into the end of the month, I was so broke. I was like, oh my God, when is the salary going to come in? So if you're coming in for the first month, just be careful with your spending. Don't buy unnecessary items. I remember I bought really expensive cooking pots. I bought some very expensive things. By the time I was going to pay, like half of my allowance was gone on the first day. So yeah, and when you go to these supermarkets, whichever supermarket you go to, especially Lulu, everything is so attractive, colorful. It's like a very tempting place. You might end up spending more than you anticipate. So my advice to you, just be careful with your spending before you get your first salary, because it might make you really miserable for the first month, and you don't want to start getting into debt in the first month. So you have to be careful with your spending. So yeah. And then I think even in less than a month, I started to feel really depressed. I started to miss my daughter a lot. I started to miss home, and I was like, why did what is happening to me? I talked to a friend of mine, and he was like, yeah, that happens to the best of us. Like, you just feel angry, very pissed all the time, and it's just because of that. You feel disintegrated. It's a phase that's called disintegration phase. You feel disintegrated. You start regretting. You question, did I make the right choice? Am I going to make it? Should I go home? And it happens that some people resign and go back within the first 3 months, because during the disintegration phase. The honeymoon phase is where you're still really happy. I am here, new country, new job, big money, stuff like that. That's the honeymoon phase. Then after the honeymoon phase, you go through disintegration. You want to go back home. You want to just lock yourself in a room and not talk to anyone. And then if you are able to go through that disintegration phase, then now comes the reintegration phase. You accept, okay, it's reality, I'm away from home, I made this choice, I love my job, and I have to just keep on going. Anyway, you will make it. So that's it, actually, that's it. If you went through any different experience, comment down below. And one thing that I cannot fail to mention, if you are a lady, expect that a Nigerian man will hit on you. Within the first 3 months, you will meet one Nigerian man that will be like, oh, blah blah blah. I shared that on another video, I don't want to repeat it, but somehow they know how to prey on the newbies. So expect that and just be careful. Be careful, my friend. Yeah, so thank you for watching, guys. I think this video, I don't know how long it is, I don't know how long I've been blabbing, but yeah, that is something that you should expect. Just to sum it up, expect of course somebody should be waiting for you at the airport. Your passports will be collected for the immigration process, and once you get your residency permit, for most companies they will give you back your passport, they don't need to keep it. And then yes, expect just to go through the blues, the disintegration. It is normal, you will get over it. So many people are here working, which means they also went through that and they got over it. So don't be a quitter, okay? Be a fighter, and then just expect that eventually you will get used to things and you will survive. And of course, if you want to survive, pay attention to the company rules, pay attention to the country rules, and nobody will be on your neck, okay? So thank you for watching, and put a comment down below of whatever. Give this video a big thumbs up, and see you on another video. Bye.